Today, members of the National Assembly bows to pressure. It considers indirect and direct mode of primaries as the electoral bill is being reviewed, but the Senate is talking about consensus. That's another twist to the conversation. And the crisis in Ekiti State PDP escalates as members protest at the party headquarters in Abuja over the controversies on the Congress held on Saturday. We'll look into it as a former governor of Ekiti State joins us on the program tonight. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbaloe in Abuja. We begin tonight by telling you about the quarterly meeting of the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and different stakeholders as part of the Commission's engagement with different sectors of the society. Today, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is warning all the 18 political parties participating in the Osun and Ekiti governorship elections that the Commission will not monitor any primaries conducted outside the two states and their outcomes will not be accepted. He stated these at the first quarterly meeting with civil society organization for the year 2022 held at the INEC conference room in Abuja. Take a listen to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
The 2023 general election is just 395 days away, and critical preparations for the election must be concluded this year. For instance, the continuous voter registration, which commenced in June last year, has entered the third quarter. As at Monday, 17th January 2022, a total of 8,260,076 eligible Nigerians commenced their registration online, completed the registration physically, applied for transfer to new locations, requested for replacement of their PVCs, and updated their voter information records. In the cases of Ekiti and Osun governorship elections, any primaries conducted outside the states will not be monitored by the Commission, and their outcomes will not be accepted. Meanwhile, the Commission has also decided that the suspended Ekiti East 1 state constituency by-election will be combined with the state governorship election holding on the 18th June 2022.
We have so much more on the program tonight, but there are some political stories you might be interested in. Let's keep you up to date with your political roundup stars.
Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, presided over the first FEC meeting of the year 2022. Physically present at the meeting was the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. 5 ministers, including that of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, Minister of State for Health, Olorunnimbe Mamura, Science, Technology and Innovation, Ogbonnaya Onu, FCT, Ahmed Musa Bello, and Transport, Chibuike Amechi, were also in attendance, while some others attended virtually. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, also explains the federal government's stance on the petroleum subsidy. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, has pleaded not guilty to the fresh amended 15-count charge on treasonable felony referred against him by the federal government. Mr. Kanu, who was brought into the courtroom around 10:15 a.m., says he was innocent of all the allegations leveled against him, even as he complained from the dock that some counts in the amended charge were similar. Each local government chairman in Rivers State is to get a 20 million naira grant from the state government to destroy illegal refinery sites that have been identified so far in the 23 local government areas. Governor Nyesom Wike disclosed this during a meeting with the local government chairman, the State Commissioner of Police, and the Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The second to be held in 5 days as the government pushes harder to end the illegal activities in Rivers State. The United Nations Human Rights Commission has called on all UN humanitarian agencies and other donor agencies across the world to step into the escalating humanitarian crisis going on in Benue, which now has over 1.5 million internally displaced persons from multiple displacement attacks in addition to Cameroonian refugees taking refuge in the state. The UNHCR country representative, Ms. Chansa Kapaya, made the call through the Associate Protection Officer for Adikpo Field Office overseeing the welfare of the Cameroonian refugees in Abande community of Kwande local government area, during the launch of the Benue State Humanitarian Response Plan, noting that if nothing is done urgently, the humanitarian crisis could spin out of control.
Today, we are looking forward to...
Ahead of the All Progressives Congress National Convention slated for February this year, the Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has assured Nigerians that he will make his intention to contest the 2023 presidential poll known to the public during the National Convention. Governor Bello stated this while interacting with journalists in Lokoja, the state capital. According to him, the APC, which is the platform through which he became governor of Kogi State, must conduct its national convention before it can declare to contest for any position under the platform of the party. He commended the dexterity of the caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, led by Yobe State Governor Maimala Buni, for their effort towards the convention, assuring everyone that the APC will be stronger even after the National Convention.
All right, then, let's get started, everyone. The National Assembly appears to have bowed to pressure from Nigerians and different interest groups who were worried about the Electoral Bill 2021 and the refusal of President Buhari of his assent on the bill. Today, they have decided to re-amend the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and approved both direct and indirect primaries. Both chambers made the re-amendment in the separate plenary sessions. In the Senate, the lawmakers also added the consensus clause for the nomination of candidates by political parties for elective positions. Take a listen to the outcome of the deliberations in the Red Chamber.
Today, as the bill stands, there is provision for all the possible options for selection of candidates from the presidency to the councillorship. The available options we have: 1, the direct primaries; 2, the indirect primaries; 3, the consensus candidature. What this means is political parties are now, once this becomes law, are now challenged to ensure that they choose what is appropriate, what is suitable for them when it comes to the processes of producing their candidates. I will urge that we should practice all these three so that we are able to develop them, because there's advantage in each, just like there could be disadvantage in all of them.
If you flip the page and switch to the Green Chamber, it does look like what happened in the lower chamber is slightly different. They've taken a slightly different position. There wasn't anything like consensus. But let me allow you to listen to what transpired today in the Green Chamber.
I remain convinced that the proposal for direct primary elections is valuable for building accountability in our political system. But we must not allow the perfect to be the enemy of the good. Therefore, the House will reintroduce the amendment tomorrow, and we will work quickly to address the mitigating concerns, pass the bill, and send it back to His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari for assent. This is a matter of concern, as it appears the version sent to the President differs from what is circulating in the public domain. However, in December of last year, I appointed a technical team to look into the issue. I expect to have their report within the next day or two. We are left to question how those parties have thus far managed their affairs, including conducting congresses and primary elections.
I will get the views of my guests tonight on the program on that subject matter. But that will be in a moment. But let's tell you what happened in other parts of town today. All seems unwell for the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State, as dozens of protesters occupy the national headquarters of the party in Abuja, protesting the committee that conducted the state congresses on Saturday. The protest is happening just 2 days after the Ekiti State three-man ad hoc delegate submitted his report and petitions from the Congress to the National Working Committee on Monday. The protesters, led by a former Ekiti State House of Assembly member, Tisilayo Owolabi, will calls on the National Working Committee to urgently conduct independent investigations into the matter or risk losing the state to the All Progressives Congress APC. Let me allow you to listen to the Honorable Member, Owolabi.
In the whole of Ekiti State, there was no Congress on Saturday. Everybody waited till about 6 p.m. before we departed. So we were amazed when we heard that a Congress was conducted. We are demanding that the PDP National Working Committee declares null and void whatever happened on Saturday because there was no Congress. Yes. We advise them to go and investigate independently in Ekiti State if anything like that happened. Oh, yes. Nothing happened like Congress on Saturday. Oh, yes. We don't know why there would be an appeal when there was no Congress. You can only appeal for a Congress that is wrongly done or badly done. I don't know how illegality can come upon legality can come upon illegality. When there was no Congress, I don't know what we are appealing. But we are here to express our mind that they should please save PDP in Nigeria. Destroying PDP in Ekiti State is laying the foundation of a failed presidential ambition or election for PDP. Yes.
That protest was just outside of the PDP headquarters here now in the nation's capital, Abuja. But this is coming a few days after what has become a constant activity of protest, which have continued to trace Saturday's World Congress in Ekiti State PDP to elect 3 ad hoc delegates for the governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party, which is scheduled to hold later this month. Well, top aspirants and their various supporters are asking that the Congress be nullified as it was allegedly tailored to favor only a group loyal to our former governor, Ayodele Fayose. They say the Congress aimed at producing ad hoc delegates for the January 26 governorship primaries has been compromised with materials deployed in favor of the group loyal to the former governor. The national authority of the party today intervened in the matter and has had a meeting with major stakeholders and leaders of the party in Ekiti State, the meeting held in Abuja tonight. I have joining me here in the studio the man, some of them are, well, talking about the former governor of Ekiti State, Governor Ayodele Fayose. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
You can see the pictures there. Some of your members in the party in Ekiti State are not happy. It does look like one day, one protest, one day, one trouble in Ekiti State. The allegations are that, one, that you hijacked the process and there was no Congress. Let me get your reaction.
Well, Shehu, thank you very much. I have no choice but to consider this as a price of leadership. One, I am not contesting any election, and nobody on Saturday would come out and say we saw Governor Fayose anywhere. I was in my hometown for the elections. And let me say that when you say protest, more than half, because I've seen this picture today, more than 3/4 of about 70 people I saw in this picture are from Nyanya.
The one that happened in Abuja?
There is no, this one in Abuja, they are from Nyanya. And they were hired from Nyanya, about 6 or 7 people are from Ekiti. They are coming to Abuja has been in public domain. The issues are very clear. When you are a leader and they see you have interest in a particular person, it ends like this. The young lady that was addressing the press was a lady in my House of Assembly and reasonably very close to Governor Shegoni, which I understand they've been friends for too long. And when I wanted to put her in the House of, wanted to support people for the House of Assembly, because the House of Assembly matters to any governor. these were observations about her, but eventually we felt she should run. Let me equally say that she's one of the people that went to support Governor Fayemi's shortly after I left office. So I'm not surprised about her comments. But what is important is that I am a leader, I want us to win. In 2018, I supported Professor Olushola Eleka. The same set of people ganged up against Professor Olushola Eleka and said he was new in the party, we don't know him, blah, blah, blah. And it is the style in politics. They'll get angry the moment they don't have your support. That's why it is difficult for a leader. But you have to take a decision.
Well, Governor, Professor Eleka that you mentioned that you supported is also angry about
that's
the
what
exercise.
I'm just
It's
saying.
Against you right now.
It can't be against me. The fact that you don't support him, is supporting anyone is my choice.
Who are you supporting now?
I am supporting Otumba Bisi Kolawole, the immediate past chairman of the party.
That's whom you are supporting?
Yes, sir. It is my right. In America, the Obama endorsed the current president, Biden. The Clinton family endorsed Obama. It's just when you endorse, you just say that this is a better candidate.
So you think that above the likes of Segun Oni, Biodun Olujimi, Aribisala,
I just want to say to you, Shehu, the facts are very clear. If I am not their leader or they find me as important, nobody will be mentioning my name. Let me tell you that because you mentioned Governor Segun Oni, I don't want to mention names. Governor Segun Oni left the party in 2013 when I became the candidate of the party and joined Governor Fayemi and Governor Adebayo in APC. He later became the deputy national chairman of that party. He was there for 8 years. He came back last March. Somebody has been holding on to the party. I was governor within the space. I was keeping the structure. Governor Oni did not contest, was not part of the Congress. He admitted that publicly. And he said he does not have a group. What do you build? Why do you build something on nothing? And the party clearly told us that Governor Fauci, Mrs. Oluchibi, the two of you, accommodate Governor Oni, go and have a discussion. We have had several meetings. And in the presence of Governor Oni, they told him, you just came back. We cannot support you. And personally, I told him I cannot support you.
Why can't you support him? Because he's left the party?
No, yes, sir.
I mean, because people from his own side will say that Governor Fauci is just not happy. I mean, one, they call it jealousy. Because maybe he's had its time as a governor too. And they say that you don't even want him to be a second-time governor. Two, that's another part. The other part is that they feel that he's a very strong candidate in whom that you may not be able to have power to control. These are some of the issues that they raised about him.
Anybody can say whatever they like. There's a process to becoming a governor. The process takes about 4 years. From the day a governor is elected, another process has started. So if anybody wants to be be governor of a state, you know you need a structure. You need a structure. A party you left 8 years ago is no longer the same party you left. That's the fact. If a woman leaves your house 8 years and come back and was telling me who touched my kitchen, they will tell you your kitchen, for God's sake, is gone. So let me tell you, I have no personal issues against Governor Oni.
And for those who say it's payback time, how do you react to that?
There's nothing to pay back, Sheung. God has given me the opportunity to serve Ekiti for 2 terms. There's nothing to pay back. Governor Oni came to me about 9 months ago and told me he wants to be governor. I was very sincere with him. I told you I will not be able to support you. I have a lot of people who had been fairly consistent, and you don't just switch and do things in whatever way.
Why are you not supporting Senator Biodun Olujimi? She was your deputy. You're not supporting Professor Eleka too. She was your deputy.
Issue of choice. The woman in your house is an issue for choice. The woman in my house is an issue for choice. You make a choice. But don't let me go this route, because they're all important people.
Let me just take you quickly on 2 short issues. The first being that there was a meeting today, the stakeholders meeting today.
That didn't hold.
It didn't hold.
Yes.
What happened?
We just got a text that the party has postponed the meeting, but they have set up an appeal panel, because procedurally, constitutionally in the party, after the first election, there must be an appeal
committee set up.
Because if you don't do that, then you are bridging you are bridging your own constitution. You have to follow the process before the party will cease of that election
and intervene.
So
that's one. Secondly, is that you said there are just a lot of people who were there. I like a producer to bring on the film, the visuals, the pictures of those who went on the streets to protest. This was what happened. You said most of them are from Nyanya and that they are not members of the party. If you flip it, take us to Ekiti State, because the protest is not only once in Ekiti State. There are one or two protests that happened in Ekiti State, and people got angry. In fact, there was some kind of physical in Ekiti State. If you can quickly flip it to the visuals of the protest in Ekiti State, and I'll allow you. Okay, this was what happened in Ado Ekiti when members and chieftains of your party are obviously angry. See what happened over this process. And now let me allow you to listen to one or two of the chieftains of the party.
This man is from Nyanya. Look at the caps.
No, this is in Ekiti.
I'm telling you. Let me tell you, Sheung.
That's Engineer Shegun.
Yes, Sheung, let me explain a few things to you. You see, without looking at this picture, this was the venue, to the best of my knowledge, where the stakeholders meeting, where they held it in Ado Ekiti before the start of the process. So you should expect things like this. The process had not even started here. You are talking about an issue after the process. You understand? A complaint after the process. The process had not even started here. That's the truth. And I wasn't here. But let me tell you, Sheung, this is normal. In Ekiti today, a lot of people are fighting Governor Fayemi because of Oyebanji. Some will tell you that his wife was one who picked it. This is the situation politically. It's no big deal to this.
Okay, let me allow you to listen to Engineer Shegun, the former governor, and Senator Biodun Jimmy. Let's take a listen to it. And I'd like you to react to their grievances.
If anybody believes he's a Muslim man, he's a strong man who can wrestle the process out of the grip of the people. Let him wait for them. They will wait for him at an appropriate corner. We must all join hands to rescue this country from this type of politics. This country at this particular time, we don't need this type of politics again. And I believe that the people in Abuja will have a very, very close look at what happened here and draw their conclusions. We cannot have democracy by hijack. If anybody...
For me, this is a repeat performance of the Congress. And this was how it was exactly on March 7, 2020. And that is what we have been fighting up until now. And it has repeated itself. Everything hijacked. Everybody compromised. The people who came compromised. And it's like somebody said, a charade.
They call it a charade.
Let me just...
They say you hijacked.
They've not shown a picture of where they saw me or anybody that is related to me hijacking anything. These are words of mouth.
But this is politics.
You are not a politician. Just listen.
But I'm a political journalist.
But okay,
that means that
I'm glad. I'm glad you are.
Your Excellency,
yes.
When you study and monitor things as a journalist, you know as much as those who are playing in it. So the question is that they say the allegation is you hijacked it and you were remotely doing that. That's the allegation.
So the first question is that they have not shown the Nigerian public evidence of a Fayose hijacking the process or anybody that is close to me. You must come with an evidence. You don't just say things. You say we are politicians. What they are saying is opinion, in their view, imaginary. Ms. Olujimi was one time my deputy governor. I worked for her using these processes like this for her to go to House of Reps. Ms. Olujimi I supported Ms. Olujimi to go to the Senate. So what are we saying? Let me equally tell you, why did Mrs. Olujimi say publicly that he does not want Engineer Shegun? Ms. Olujimi has signed an agreement with me. We've read this agreement before the party. She read the agreement. Mr. Olujimi publicly admitted that the two of us would do this 3 ad hoc delegate together. They were not going to buy forms. Even the forms she bought, she took it back to the party. She wanted her money back as at the day before the Congress. It was the party that now told Mr. Olujimi that we don't do refund on such. Let's just put this in perspective. We've done congresses. Last year, March 7, like she said, she went to court, lower court, appeal court. On the world congresses, they lost. They went to lower court on the local government and state congresses, they lost. What are we talking about? After a court pronouncement involving INEC, should we start saying things over and over? We must respect INEC's position. We must respect the court of the land, for which INEC ordinarily will be a party. In due course, INEC report will come out. Police report will come out.
It has come out. I've obtained the document.
You have obtained the document.
Yeah, let's take a look at if you can put it up. Although, I mean, from what we see, there are observations.
Please, before you go on, Shegun, let us say this. Already by number, out of the 1,400 delegates to this Congress, I have over 1,000 or close to 1,000. So this 3 ad hoc delegate is only 531. Even if I get 250, it's a super win.
But they said they are going to set aside this
Let's wait.
Use another.
Excuse me. When we were in court, they said court will overturn whatever we have done. Lower court, we won. Appeal court, we won.
Are you satisfied if they use super delegate?
Excuse me. Anything, I'm satisfied. Shehu, this game is not about television. You two can come out tomorrow and start saying, if I say I will defeat you, then that day I will take your glasses and put it in my pocket. You won't see again. You see, this, by God's grace, we are an institution there now. And the leaders of the people. You cannot be a two-term governor in a state. And people are saying this. You see, look at Honorable Aribusala. I saw him there. The party wanted a national treasurer. God help me, I supported Aribusala against these same people. He went to National Assembly. When he wanted to contest, I said, Aribusala, I will not support you. Have you seen where people today, because you assisted them, they go up and they start fighting the leader? It's not right.
Let me quickly make a reference to the police report and the INEC report. Some of the documents that we have obtained right here, although we cannot authoritatively confirm them, but these are the report that we've gotten. There's a report on the People's Democratic Party World Congress. But let me ask you, who was supposed to be the chair of this Congress, Governor?
Governor of Akwa Ibom.
But it wasn't on ground.
Yes, it wasn't on ground. Immediate past legal advisor from the state came. Let me equally say to you, this is a decision of the party, not mine. And I'm not going to join issues on issues that are sensitive like that. When they came to do our Congress in Ekiti, they asked Governor of Taraba State to come and do it. The Governor of Taraba sent someone.
But you know that in law,
there's no law,
that is not acceptable.
There's no law, sir. It is the party's affair.
When you the party is governed by constitution, isn't it?
The party is governed by constitution.
Of the party, which everybody has sworn to abide by.
Let me just say to you, it is better to leave this in the purview of the party. I don't want to come and defend the party.
But I'd like you to respond to what INEC has said.
Yes.
And INEC, in their observation, said that where there was a presence of security agents at all Congress venues, its consensus affirmation was used for the election in most words.
Yes.
The Congress was conducted in line with the party's constitution and guidelines for Congress.
Also, read that again. Read what you just read.
Yeah, the Congress was conducted in line with the party's constitution.
In line with the party's constitution and guidelines.
For Congress, but there are other parts. The exercise was conducted peacefully in most of the local government areas, with the exception of Ekiti East, Idoshi, and Ikere, which were later resolved. But you agree that there were issues?
No, sir. Let me just explain to you. You know, from what we listened to on the television, which the panel submitted, they said in Idoshi 2 wards were not done because of either violence or whatever. Out of 177 wards, 170 was done. Only 7 fell within these categories that you are talking about by their report.
Would you say that they should reconduct the whole exercise?
Anything they want to do, I don't mind. I am a man. I'm the man on ground.
The fear of some, the likes of Senator Olujimi and Engineer Shegun Aribusala, and if President Leka, is that the way the party is going, you will lose the election.
You see, they said this in 2014. That's what we call consensus. Everybody wants anybody but Ayo Fayoshi. They said I would lose. That means Governor Shegun will need to leave the party. Shegun, I won in the 16 local government areas of Ekiti. I won in 164 wards of 177. I defeated Governor Fayemi. And in my 2 elections, nobody has earned the vote that I earned.
You think your party has a presence now to be able to win an election now?
Even the 2018 election, when a court pronounces, we take it. But in 2018 election, I was muzzled. The party was muzzled because of my strong stance against the APC. But that is history.
But that's the same word that your friends in the PDP now are saying, that you are muzzling them.
I'm not muzzling anyone. They have not shown you any credible evidence of Fayoshe's influence in this party. And Shegun, I did not write this report you are reading. This is an independent report by INEC. This is what I'm seeing again on your table. It's an independent report by the police. Police is not PDP. INEC is not PDP. So when we say things, let us say it rightly. INEC said elections were conducted peacefully in most of the local government wards and local government. And by the report, it was 170 wards out of 177. Police said they deployed and elections went well. I wish you can show, you can read it yourself, Shegun. Don't let us, we must inform the public. Because when people are making noise, can you please let us...
That's it on the screen that the Nigerians can see for themselves.
Yes, I'm very sure that the police made it clear too. And the INEC, according to what I saw here. But let me tell you, Shegun, these people, these agencies are not PDP members. They are not the leadership of PDP. Right. Shegun,
how do you resolve this?
It will resolve itself. Shegun, this is normal in the build-up to an election.
All right, because we need to take a break now. When we come back, we get our closing moment with you. But I would like to know, because I'm hearing that you might want to throw your hat in the ring for the president of Nigeria. Is that true?
Shegun, don't drag me out. Let me just face this Ekiti election.
It's not a matter of dragging you out.
No.
You have said that you know the problems and the solution of Nigeria. You said it before.
Shegun, I strongly believe anybody who wants to be president of Nigeria must, first of all, govern his state. The APC is ruling my state now. I must work hard. I must beg all these people that are angry. We must come back to a family, to be the same family we used to be. At least one person will win this election, Shegun. Whether it is Fayoshe's candidate or any one of them. And any one of them that wins this election, I will support them. Right. The party has equally asked us to go and share positions. We have gone to share positions. So I am saying, even if Governor Shegun wins the election at the primary, I will support him.
All right, let's take a breather, Governor Fayoshe. We'll get your closing thoughts when we return. But when we also return, we'll be speaking with Ismail Ahmed. After we are done with Governor Fayoshe, he will be joining me. He's a member of the APC Caretaker Committee, the national youth leader of the party, and we shall be discussing the APC convention as they release a schedule of activities leading up to the 26th of February National Convention. So with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We'll be speaking with the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayoshe. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. Let's wrap up the conversation now. I'd like to take you away from Ekiti, the local politics there, to the national politics. First and foremost, you say you don't want to come out here, but we are hearing that you might want to contest. We've seen a few people. The kind of names that you are seeing in the APC, are you worried your party might be beaten yet again for a third time by the APC?
In the federal election?
Yes.
So the facts speaks for themselves. You see, forget about PDP, forget about all political parties. Let's go to the public. Let us look at situation before now. Let us look at the suffering of Nigerians. Today I was reading that fuel will go to 302. I don't know what is left in Nigeria. The APC has mortgaged the country. Unfortunately, this is not personal.
They will blame your party that you left the rot.
If you keep blaming the woman that left the woman that left your house 4 years ago, something must be wrong with you fundamentally. You say you can turn it around 4 years after, or 8 years after, or 7 years after. Referring to what happened during Obasanjo, what happened to... That's
the likes of Asiwaju Tinubu, who is a very good friend, whom you say you might support if he wants to run for president. Would you support him?
I never said that to you.
No. You have said it publicly.
I said...
That is someone you respect so much.
The fact that you respect Asiwaju as a Yoruba leader does not translate that you are negotiating the totality of your party for another party.
Would you support him?
No, Shehu, I mean PDP.
Would you like him to be a president?
Shehu, PDP must produce the next president of Nigeria.
Who are you supporting?
I'm supporting nobody because PDP has not equally zoned. They've not taken any position on this presidential issue. So what we just finished the convention. That should not be my priority. And let me tell you, sincerely, Shehu, my priority is Ekiti. My wish and my effort is going to be concentrated in Ekiti, having a PDP governor, which is the foundation of the general election. That is
two quick one.
Yeah.
The Senator Ayu-led leadership of the party seems to be having a tough time now because it probably not envisaged that there's a lot of trouble on the ground. Now we've seen a lot of Ekitis.
There's no trouble. Politics is about these issues of having issues like this, and the capacity to resolve them is what they call leadership. Ayu is a seasoned politician. Ayu is a seasoned leader of note. And I want to tell you, if you see the way he's managing the thing so far, so good. The national chairman did not come to address us. He brought 7 BOT members. He brought 7 governors. He brought 7 members of the working committee and brought National Assembly members. He has not called us for once. And he publicly told everybody, don't come to my house to talk about issues. Talk your issues in the public. Don't buy me over.
So you like his ideas?
I like his ideas because...
On a final note, is the issue of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Now the National Assembly it seems to have bowed to pressure. What's your take?
Let me put it in two perspectives. It is becoming commonly of President Buhari to dodge accents. It's becoming commonly. You remember before 2019 election, he was supposed to sign this thing to law. He did not. He gave excuses. I'm not saying what they did, what National Assembly did was right or not right. But President Muhammadu Buhari should leave office and leave with a name that people will remember that he turned around. He turned around the electoral process. Now that everybody, the National Assembly has done the right thing, it should waste no time at ascending to the bill and let the process have enough time to adjust. Because when you are waiting for till 6 months to go, 1 year to go, then people will begin to suspect you. So for me, there is a window of 30 days. And having done this, the president should sign tomorrow or as soon as he gets to his table. Right. Because if he comes back and tell Nigerians that he's still not satisfied, then everybody will know there's a lot more to it. So
everybody knows that you're a very strong critic of the president. And the APC seems to be confident. They said they will beat your party blue-black again in 2023.
Let me tell you again, Shehu, there's nobody that can vote for this party again. It's not personal. Shehu, the suffering out there is unfortunate. I was reading something, rice pyramid, when people are hungry. Pyramid to do what? To showcase or what? Carry this rice to the grassroots. The economy is bad. You are doing rice. I was just laughing because maybe they've lost the bearing on how to manage the country.
Governor Fayose, we are totally out of time. But I would like, as soon as you decide whether it was a rumor or is someone you told that I heard that you are going to run for president, well, as soon as you are able to resolve your issues in Ekiti State, do let us know if you want to become president or not. But I must sincerely thank you.
I would not expect anybody who fails to produce governor or have a governor in his state to start saying he wants to be president. I won't expect anybody.
Charity begins at home.
Charity begins at home.
So if you don't win Ekiti, you will not come out.
Forget it, but I will win Ekiti, God willing. We will win Ekiti, pardon my language.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Former governor of Ekiti State, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you. We take a break, everyone, and when we come back, Ismail Ahmed, the national youth leader of the APC, joins us. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Yesterday, the All Progressives Congress APC announced the date for the National Convention of the party, which is now, for sure, as we understand, the 26th of February 2022. Today, the party has released a schedule of activities leading to the convention. The party says it will receive the interim report of the National Reconciliation Committee on the 31st of January 2022. and conduct inauguration of the state executives on the 3rd of February 2022, while sales of forms to all aspirants vying for the national offices and the APC National Secretary will begin on the 14th of February 2022. So you can see some of these for you. You can check all the details out on Channels Television website. It's channelstv.com. So let's discuss this issue and so much about the state of affairs of the APC. I'm being joined now by the APC National Youth Leader and a member of the Caretaker Committee, Ismail Ahmed, who is also a lawyer. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me, Sharon. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. Seeing you for the first time this year. Yeah. Now, it does look like, with all said and done, your party seems to have gotten his bearing together, because the the PDP, for example, had said you cannot even conduct a national convention.
Well, the PDP says a lot of things, and other critics and cynics say a lot of things. We've never lost our bearing, Sharon. In our meeting in December, we all agreed that in January we were going to set the date for the convention, which we all knew at that time was going to be in February, and we were going to release the schedule of activities. We are not going to be railroaded by people who are going to be speaking out of tongues or take us out of our set course. We knew exactly. I told you right here in the studio, and I told your colleagues, that this convention was going to hold in February.
When they said you lost your bearing, perhaps people were making reference to some of the things you said. 6 months for the Caretaker Committee was extended. Over a year now, the Caretaker Committee is in place. So
look at the
when
time.
they say you lost your bearing, when you have a temporary process of leadership over almost 2 years now down the line, I mean, there's signals for critics to say you lost your bearing.
No, you know, it's okay for people to criticize whatever they want to criticize and air their views. That's fine. But we've never lost our bearing. When we got appointed in June of 2020, I guess, it was in the middle of the pandemic. And then one of the reasons that we were appointed was to do our registration, which needed a lot of people to come out in the ward level and do a lot of registration. That took us to December of 2020, which was then extended. And you knew how the pandemic went on. And then we got to where we are. But here, we are finally here. February 26th is the date for convention.
For people who are going to vie for the national chairmanship of the party, where has it been zoned?
There's no issue of zoning. We have not discussed zoning yet. Zoning will be done at a later stage with all the critical stakeholders and organs of the party.
For the presidential primaries, a lot is happening.
We're talking about convention, we're talking about primaries?
Just a moment, because that is a major, it's with the timing also, because the allegation is that there seems to be some kind of sit-tight syndrome by members of the Caretaker Committee who have interest in the primaries, and there's a certain way they want it to go. These are some of the issues people have raised.
I blame some of this. I blame us for not communicating effectively as at when due. But there's nothing like that. There's no sit-tight syndrome. I know a lot of people, all the members of the Caretaker Committee were people of integrity, and they couldn't wait to hand over the assignment to other elected new leadership of the party.
So the convention will happen in Abuja, and it will be at the Eagle Square.
Well, we'll discuss venue, but for now, let's assume so.
But you understand that there might be an election on that day?
What election is that?
Some by-elections.
By-election is not going to stop a national convention.
Okay, because some other people are saying in your party that, look, you fixed it because you want to postpone it again because you know it will coincide with an election.
Let's watch and see. This date is sacrosanct. I can assure you of that.
Will this convention be able to effectively fix some of the crises, the controversies in your party?
What crises and controversies do we have?
You have more than 10 states where you have
we have challenges. We have challenges.
These are problems. These are crises.
Of course. But
if you don't have problems,
there is no one
you wouldn't
event.
Send the senator.
There was no one event. No, reconciliation is not an event. It's a process in political family. There will never be a time where there will never be any issue in a political party as big as we are, as humongous as we are, and with government in our hands. There will be issues. People would like, and especially in the transition election, which this 2023 will be, there will be a lot of people that will say a lot of things that would have challenges here and there. We'll try to fix them. But it's not an event. It's not something that is going to happen in one fell swoop. It's something that's going to metastasize into the new leadership or whatever. It's a process that will continue.
If the president is from the northwest, the president Muhammad Buhari, is from the, I mean, he's from the, he's not, no, I'm trying to build a scenario.
Okay, go ahead.
So if he's from the northwest, and you rightly may not consider a national chairman from the same zone, is that the norm in your party?
Well, it has not ever happened where we have a national chairman and the president from the same zone. We have not had that before.
But there are possibilities now. If you are the way the people that we have seen that are come out to say they want to run for the national chairman of the party, there are people from similar zone from the president.
There is no law in this country that stops, the president and the chairman of the zone coming from the same zone, but it has not happened in our party before.
With the spirit of federalism is that
that's
people,
right. So
people get, right. I mean, everybody gets
it has not happened before. Are you trying to force me to tell you where we are going to zone this? I told you it has not been discussed. I told you, just relax. I told you the last time we were talking.
I'm relaxed. I'm not the member of your party.
The last time we had a conversation, I told you we're going to have convention in February. Relax. We'll release the dates. We'll release schedule of activities. We're here today. When we do the zoning, when the zoning happens, you get to hear about it again. There's nothing to be worried about.
The president has said that he will hold who is supporting for the presidency to his chest, because it's, in his own words, that if he says it now, the person is going to be eliminated.
I hope you know he means eliminated in terms of not elimination.
It depends on how anybody. Those are his words. It depends on how anybody interprets it.
He probably means that the person would be, there'll be a lot of attacks on him. Political attacks, of course. That's what
technical elimination. That's probably what you're trying to infer.
Yes. So it wasn't like an elimination of an assassin. No, that's not what the president.
What is happening with Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
What do you mean? What's happening with him?
It does look like as soon as he made public that he wants to run for president, it does look like he just stirred up the process, and the atmosphere just got really stirred up. And he's really creating a lot. I mean, we are hearing now that the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, might also be running. And the question people will be asking, does your party want to leave a legacy? From your own point of view, leaving a legacy or getting a fresh person, what do you think is best for your party?
What do you mean fresh person? Who is a fresh person? Every member of the progressive family, whoever wins the presidential election is going to continue with the legacy of President Muhammadu Buhari. What do you mean a fresh person? As long as it's APC, we're fine with that.
I mean, when you say you are leaving a legacy or you are having some kind of continuation from someone who had worked on the team, of course, that is the...
Whatever President Muhammadu Buhari has done and is doing in the last 6-7 years of his administration, he is implementing the progressive mantra. And whoever succeeds him from the progressive family will largely continue with that mantra and the policies of the party. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Then kind of names that have been thrown up in your
I'm
party,
not an analyst, Sheon.
I'm not asking you to analyze.
I'm a leader.
Yeah, I'm asking
so you
cannot
drag me
as a
into,
leader.
Drag me into the conversations of aspirants.
Calm down. You are the one that is not calm now, Ismail. You need to calm down.
Oh, I am calm.
Like your VP, will say, calm down. All right? So, I mean, we're having a conversation.
Right.
It's like a tea table conversation. So, the big question is the caliber of people that we're seeing in your party. They have a profile, intimidating profile.
Absolutely, and we love it.
But the question is whether your party still has that kind of following with the Nigerian people based on the promises you made and the performance of it thereof.
Every political party, and I'm being straight and honest here, like I've always been, every political party that have been in government for a while tends to have challenges with the electorate, naturally, all over the world is the practice. It is up to that political party and the spokespeople for that political party or government, as the case may be, to communicate effectively to the electorate what they have been able to achieve within the period upon which, within the tenure upon which they're in office. This is what we must do and remind Nigerians where we are coming from in terms of the real actual deliverables that this government has been able to achieve and communicate it effectively using emotional intelligence, using languages that people understand, and be able to show the clear difference so that all this false equivalency of comparison between us and PDP, for example, about what what we received, what we had, what we saw when we came into government, what they have been able to do or not do, precisely with all the monies that they got, what they have not been able to achieve, and what we have been able to achieve incredibly in terms of infrastructural development and clear development, and what we have been able to spin off. And then you have, you know, His Excellency Governor Faishe, who left here, who it is easy for them to criticize President Muhammadu Buhari when we remember fully well that this is, when he was a governor, he took out a paid, you know, newspaper advert to say that the president wasn't even going to survive the, 4 years or 8 years, because he says all kinds of things about him. So these are the kinds of people we deal with. But we have to remind the electorate, you know, what they have been able to receive. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years of having barrels of crude oil being sold at over $100 a barrel, $140 a barrel, and what they have been able to do with it and what we have been able to achieve with what we have. And there is no government in recorded history in Nigeria that has been able to implement budget to do almost 80 to 90% like we have, like President Muhammad Buhari has. These are statistics. You can go and check it.
Let's wrap up quickly now. 2 quick questions for you.
That's right.
One is whether or not your party is giving it a very deep thought and consideration for those who are agitating in some section of the country that they are not adequately or fairly treated in the scheme of things, politically speaking. Would your party, or is your party considering that in the manner in which you're thinking to zone presidency?
I told you, and I'm going to tell you again, the issue of zoning is matter for the leadership.
What I want to know is whether you are considering it. Is it part of the consideration of your party?
I'm sure it is. They would consider zoning at some point to make sure that the balance is okay. I'm sure they would do that. And talking about marginalization, we feel marginalized, the young people, as well. So
what are you doing about it?
We're pushing. We're talking to our leaders to make sure that that doesn't happen. The women are having their conference. They had one yesterday. They had a session yesterday. They had one today. They're also talking about the same thing, about marginalization. But I can tell you that the young people feel more marginalized than the women do. So we're pushing.
On a final note, your party brought about this controversy on the electoral bill. The governors of your party were very vehement about the position on what they wanted.
I think that position was adopted by all the governors, irrespective of political parties.
Your party.
I remember Governor Otto, one of the greatest critics of President Muhammadu Buhari, congratulated him for not assenting to the bill. So it's all governors.
So what's your view? You're a lawyer. I'd like to get your the position of your party and your own view on...
And I told you, I think I was on this program, Sean, when I told you that I have a little bit of reservation of a government coming in by law to restrict the ability of political parties, to choose their candidates by different methods. I thought as much as I personally love the idea of a direct primaries where everybody will feel included, but I just thought that having a law restricting political parties to a singular mode of electing or nominating candidates was a bit restrictive. And I've had experiences with direct primaries, and I know that it can be chaotic, and it can be, it can be anybody's game. Anybody can just line up a lot of people in front of his house, take pictures, have some signatures signed, and take it to court, and everything just goes to court. So it can be chaotic. It is ideally the best way to nominate candidates, but it can be absolutely chaotic.
In 30 seconds, if you can tell me this, because you represent the youth in your party, you speak for them. The question is that a lot of people are looking up to your party, up to this government, up to President Buhari, to leave a legacy of good elections. If you have the opportunity to speak, assuming the president is listening to you, what would you say to him in that respect? What are the young people yearning for?
President Muhammadu Buhari knows, and I've told him this several times, and he knows it, and he says it as well, and he believes it, that 70% of the people that were responsible in bringing him into office in 2015 were not born when he was head of state in 1983. So the future of young people was given to him. He has been able to lead this country creditably well. We want him to leave a legacy of deliberately opening and creating a bridge so that young people would be able to find a succor for themselves in our party, in the APC, and ultimately in government.
Ismail Ahmed is the national youth leader of the APC and a member of the caretaker committee. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Chairman.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.